Hey, I know it's been like 3 weeks since my last video, and I feel so bad because um, I've had messages, and I know I said that I would be updating daily, and I felt really bad because I thought it had been a long time, and then I realized that actually it's been 3 weeks. So the last time, my last check-in, I was 24 weeks plus some plus. I think I did a check in just before I was about to be 25 weeks, and so we made it to 25 weeks. Then 26 weeks, 27 weeks. Today we're at 28 weeks. It's been a little bit crazy, and then it's also been a little bit like nothing. So that 25 weeks, on the day that I turned 25 weeks, I um I went back home. I got discharged, which was great. I was very happy and wasn't feeling so um, stressed. And I will put in a little clip of my morning chat, like here. And
Also, I might not have voiced how much I felt like I wanted to get to this day because you can't do anything and it puts an unnecessary pressure on yourself
mhm,
to do God's work and you can't. So
yeah,
I was just playing the waiting game. I
hmm
think you were too. So um, we're here. So yeah,
yeah, I'm very glad. We've got
I'm
till
glad too.
we've got till
It's like a
9:47
few.
to be fair, but still. Then, so 25 weeks to 26 weeks, I was at home. I'd had a I'd had one ultrasound and everything looked good. And then a few days later, I was in bed. It was nighttime, and I started having these like very familiar tightenings, contractions, um, and that was no fun. And it was getting closer and closer together, but I was also like just trying to remain quite calm about it. And I think actually I was actually really chilled. So I didn't want to go into the hospital. Um so what I did was I I just kind of chilled. The Oh, sorry, I've got this wrong because I've had these like familiar contractions twice. Okay, so that was the first time. So this is the second time. So the second time, so sorry. 20 it was 26 weeks, and it wasn't in the evening, it was in the morning. So first thing in the morning, I think it was like 8 o'clock, I had this like tightening, and I was like, oh gosh, okay, that was kind of painful, but cool, whatever. I could breathe through it. It was like totally fine. And then it was like once an hour, then it increased like twice an hour, and I was like, okay, if this is increasing, I am just going to take my time. And I still didn't have anything ready for my hospital bag, which I keep telling myself that I need to do. I didn't have it done. Um, but I was, and that was actually coincidentally the day that I said to myself, okay, I'm going to buy stuff so that I have my hospital bag ready. And yeah, I didn't. So what happened was, we did that. It was the morning, and I was just kind of easing into the day. Like, had a really slow morning. It kind of came to midday, and it was increasing steadily. But I was like, I'm not gonna go in until it's like pretty bad. And then midday comes around, like it's the afternoon. I had a friend come over, and we just like had a little chat. I was having these contractions, but it was just chilled. Um, and then I had family come over, just very chilled. Some of them a little bit more stressed than others, and like, why are you home? If you are having contractions, why are you home? But I couldn't help it, so I stayed, and I was like, I just really want to ease into this. If this is happening right now, I'm just gonna let it flow. Anyway, the day continues. I went in the evening. I went to a friend's house and had some dessert there after we'd had dinner, um, and put my daughter to sleep. And then that evening, I got to sleep. Chaz had come back from work, and he he was like, "Oh, I'm really tired. If do you want to go to the hospital now?" It was like 8 p.m. when he came back, and I was like, "Oh no, not really, because it's not like too intense, and if I can carry this on through till the morning, then fine. I'm just gonna try and sleep through it." Tried to sleep through it. I wasn't gonna get to sleep through it, and then it kind of ramped up quite a bit, and we had to go in, and so went in during that evening, and I ended up back on the opioids, which I have this like terrible journey with, and I'm not too sure how much I've told you guys about my history with opioids, but I have a very long history with opioids from taking them for uterine endometriosis pain years back. And I had been on tramadol for quite a long time. Obviously, knew that it was addictive, but the doctor had also given me like quite a lot and was just giving me these repeat prescriptions, because I was chronically in pain, and it was like almost, it was daily pain. And so I was on this tramadol for such a long time, and what ended up happening was when I had stopped taking the tramadol, I felt really, really sick, and it was terrible. I felt really, really sick and really, really, really down. And it took like a few days to kind of get over. I was having like cold and hot and cold sweats, like fevers, shivering, shaking, hallucinating, just like terrible, terrible symptoms, itching everywhere. It wasn't fun. Just falling asleep at random times, not being able to fall asleep, like being just like completely wired. And it was only in like maybe the last kind of day or so that I maybe looked it up and realized that this was opioid withdrawal. And so that was very scary. I'd spoken to my GP at the time, my family doctor, spoke to her about it. She's like, okay, yeah, we just have to be really careful with them, blah, blah, blah. Ended up happening again because there was nothing really at the time that was helping me with my pain. And so I ended up taking them again and kind of coming into the same thing and realizing, oh, this is not fun at all. And so much so that it kind of wasn't worth it. So I stopped taking them, and I moved on to taking like CBD oil and like CBD, sometimes it'd be CBD, THC, whatever. And so that was my history. So then now when I'm in the hospital and I'm like, I don't want to have this medication because I know just how bad it was the last time I had the opioid withdrawals at my last admission. And I'd had opioids for 3 days and then had to go through withdrawal, so I didn't want to do it again. And so this time what happened? I did it, and I told the doctor, if I'm to take these opioids, I'm only going to take them on one day. And so if you think that today's that day that I should take the opioids, and he believed so, because he said that it could help stop the pain, and if it stopped the pain, then it could help stop the kind of rollover effect of there being so much pain that it continues to create that irritation, and that irritation would just continue to build up, whatever. So, and at the time, and the reason why that's an issue is because it's the fear that it would tear open my stitch because of my cervix. So, so I did take it. I did take the opioids that day, and that was good. It was fine. It went. That day came and went, and then the next day, I was kind of ready for it to start again. It did a little bit later, but then it was pretty calm. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Like nothing's happening. And so yeah, that was it. Like, I actually spent a week in hospital, so I spent from 26 to 27 weeks in hospital, and then, oh, just before 27 weeks, so my 26 plus 2 until 26 plus 6 in hospital. And that was, yeah, a very short admission, just kind of monitoring, putting me on the CTG and monitoring my contractions and blah blah blah, but nothing was kind of building up. So after that Sunday, when everything did build up, so then what happened? So then during that admission, on one day, I had an iron infusion because my iron's really low, and that's because of my HG, because I constantly feel really sick. And then it also means one of my food aversions is meat, and I can't stand eating any meat, like dairy in very small doses. Like, I'm having yogurt, but cheese I can handle just sometimes. But yeah, most meats I can't deal with. I can deal with like beef mince, like really ground, really kind of fine mince sometimes. But all in all, I hate the smell, taste of meat. So this pregnancy has been pretty much a veg one. And what that means is that my iron's been really low, so we did an iron infusion. I also, during this admission, had the glucose test, which I didn't want to do at all. And Chaz was like, "Why did you do the glucose test?" Because there is another form of the glucose test, the glucose tolerance test, that you can do. It's called like the HP or HG, I can't remember what it is. But I was going to do that one, and I ended up doing the actual GT glucose tolerance test. And Chaz was like, "Were you just kind of like people pleasing because you'd been saying no so much?" Because even though I told the doctor on the first day that I wasn't going to be having any opioids, I was still offered opioids at every point in regards to when I was having pain. So there was a lot of like rejecting happening. But it never quite built up the same way. So the pains that I was having, the contractions that I was having, they never quite built up the same after that Sunday. So I was kind of like, it was good. It was a very good thing because they were really close that Sunday. And we came to the conclusion that my body just must be really sensitive to this stitch, because, and I don't know if this is actually the right conclusion, because my obviously I've got the weak cervix, and my cervix had already dilated in my previous pregnancy, whereas in this pregnancy it's not dilated. The stitch is there, but it's also ripped through the stitch. So the question is, like, what is it that causes my uterus to be so irritable that it starts contracting, and as such, like, causing my cervix to dilate? But so then, anyway, we had that hospital admission, did the glucose tolerance test, did the iron infusion, and then the day of the iron infusion, it was the evening, I started feeling really anxious, and I was just like, I need to be home. I didn't know what happened. It was really instant. I think I'd been scrolling on my phone, and you know, sometimes when you're scrolling, you just get that feeling that you need to put your phone down. I had that feeling. And also, baby had been kicking. Oh no, baby had been having like hiccups, and like hiccups every now and then it would just stop, and then it just stopped, and I was like, oh, this is a weird feeling. So after that, I was just really kind of like anxious, and like I started pacing, and I was like, oh, I don't like this feeling. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just kind of want to go home. And like I got really teary eyed, and I was like to the midwives, I feel really anxious, and I think I just need to go home. They were like, that's fine, Sharon. Yeah, that's totally understandable. You've been in hospital for like, you're always here. Um, it must be very annoying for you, whatever. And I was like, it's not that it's annoying for me. Love you guys. I don't know what's wrong with me and I need to go home. And so half an hour later, I was packed up and I just left. And it was great. I was home. Everything's been good. The only thing is that I have been getting that anxious feeling, and the one that made me go home. And I realized that it might also be to do with my phone. I've spent a lot of time on my phone, as you could imagine, just being on bed rest. And so, I think, I don't know, you know that you get that feeling where it's just like overstimulation. And so, I think it was that. I'm sorry if I still like, I had dinner today and threw up. I'm still getting those feelings. Which is the joy of HG, but my HG's been like pretty good, and I've had a pretty good run the last week and like a day since I checked myself out, was discharged. And then like things have been good with my HG. My cervix has been stable. I had an ultrasound today. Cervix is completely fine and stable. And baby's growing, is like 1 kilo, and we're 28 weeks today. So as I said, I keep saying to people, I'm like 3 weeks overdue. This is incredible. I'm also really tired. I'm tired of not being able to walk today. We're getting ready for a friend's wedding, and so I was at a shopping centre and like hired one of their mobility scooters so I could get around, because otherwise I'd constantly be told off. And Chaz is like, I can't believe you're using a mobility scooter, just get the dress online, borrow one. But no, I find myself wanting to like push more. I think that's to do with a combination of things, of me being ready, but also me me just being really tired of not being able to do anything, not being able to walk. I miss like really weird things. Like I miss having a cycle, and that's not like I miss bleeding. I don't miss that. But I miss the different elements of my cycle. I miss feeling like I miss having like my follicular phase, my ovulation. I miss that. I don't miss my luteal phase, but maybe I do a little bit. But I kind of feel like this pregnancy is like a constant luteal. I don't know. I don't know how cycles work when you're pregnant. But I just miss the predictability of my mood and what's coming and whatever. Whereas here it's like I'm in bed and there's no kind of change happening there. So then there's no change happening. Well, there are fluctuations in the way that I'm feeling, but there's just not much activity. So it's very different. And there are just other things, like my teeth from the throwing up are like wrecked. Not that you can see them, like you can't see it, but they are wrecked. And I'm tired of just like feeling so tired and out of breath. I'm the biggest I've ever been, ever. Like my stomach is so big right now. And also I don't know, I have this note that I've written like things that I miss about not being pregnant. But yeah, I can't wait to get to have my teeth whitening cleaned, like just, I don't know, some dental work done. Can't wait to take some ashwagandha and just like chill, and or like my rhodiola, which is like a supplement I use for like my focus. I can't wait to work. My brain has been like mush, so I really can't wait to use my brain again. Can't wait to do like fun things. It's almost summer here in Australia, so I can't wait to go to the beach with baby and my daughter, and just like yeah, I'm just like so ready. So ready. Um, I know it's still early. I'm just mentally over being pregnant. And I know I love children, love babies. I just don't like pregnancy for me. If it was that my pregnancies were normal, yes, I would love them. But they're not. They're not that. They're normal for me, but they're like, yeah. Um, so good news. My glucose tolerance test came back negative for gestational diabetes, so I'm very happy about that. Um, and then, um, I don't know. I don't know what this journey is going to look like. I really hope that we get to 30 weeks because that was always my goal. And I've not shared that actually, but yeah, I've always said I have a goal in mind. My goal in mind was 30 weeks. So now we are 2 weeks out and it feels amazing that we're almost there, that the baby is like a kilo. It's incredible. And that is me. I promise I won't take so long to update you guys next time. Daily updates I will aspire to and try to get back to. It's just been a little bit hard because we're like at home and then I make it my mission to take my daughter out every day for at least 2 hours, and then it's like cooking and just doing all the things. Even if I'm seated, they still get done. Or it's like I'm in bed for a lot of the day. And I hope I'm not overthinking updates as well, because I like my updates weren't that exciting before because I was just in the hospital, whereas now it's like I've actually got a life. Like I went and got my nails done the other day, and I have been getting my nails done every time I've been discharged from hospital. I've been doing my makeup. I've been, as I said, today we're looking for dresses for this wedding that we've got in 2 weeks that I've realised I could be pregnant for. So, yeah, crazy. Anyway, I will love you and leave you guys and chat to you very soon, hopefully tomorrow.